Hello and welcome to another video on the Moopa Troopa 7 channel. I'm Max Rappaport, and today I'm going to be playing a deck that is very near and dear to my heart. That's Blue-Black Midrange, and this is the exact list that I just got top 32 at the RC in Minneapolis, the highest ranking Dimir deck. So if you're looking for a good build, this is what I think is pretty much as good as you can get with it. I was very happy with the list throughout the tournament, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as I go through the matches. We'll see what we're up against. Played a lot of demons at the tournament, few cutter, and some domain, some other stuff too. But yeah, awesome experience, and this is what I played there. What I thought was a pretty good deck choice. If you're not going to be on the Izzet cutter deck, which is pretty good. But yeah, we got a couple spell pierce and an intimidation tactics for some main deck answers to steel cutter. Pretty much that's why I'm playing these cards. They're good in other scenarios too, but that's the main use case for them, or really why they're here. We got 4 Siren, 4 Cut Down, 4 Drowner, 3 Deep Cavern Bat, which is like the core of the deck. Then we got 3 Go for the Throat, a Phantom Interference as an extra counterspell, 3 Preachers, 2 Karcies, 3 Kaito, 3 Curiosity, 1 Shieldred, 1 Gix's Command. So pretty standard stuff here. Got all the big black creatures as well as a Gix's Command to kind of help in the aggro matchups. And then we got Curiosity and Kaito as kind of the card advantage engine that goes really well with your cheap creatures. On the sideboard, I got Disdainful Stroke, 2 of them, 2 Fairy Mastermind, 2 Tashana's Tidebinder, a Scavenger Regent, 2 Duress, 1 more Intimidation Tactics, another Shieldred, a Gix's Command, an Anoint, and 2 Ghost Vacuum for those pesky graveyard decks. As we go through the matches, gonna play a league today. Just kind of explain my thought process around this deck. Maybe talk about the tournament a little bit. I know I have not posted a video in a little over a month, maybe. Was finishing up my college semester, but I'm all done now, and just got done with the RC as well. So looking forward to producing a lot of stuff in the near future. I was already qualified for the Pro Tour and all the other stuff that you could get qualified for at the RC, but it was still a great experience. Happy I went, and excited to play in Vegas in not too long. Final Fantasy coming out. We'll see what I'm on. Maybe Dimir. I've played it at every event for the past couple years, so we'll see if I stray away or if I'm sticking with it. But I do love Dimir midrange, so let's play some games with it. If you enjoy the content coming out of this channel, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment. All of that really helps me grow the channel, know that I should keep making videos because people are liking them. So thank you so much for watching, and let's get into it. On the draw here for match number 1, not really where you want to be against a lot of the decks in the meta, especially the more aggressive ones, but of course you always want to be on the play in Magic, or at least like 99.9% of the time. But pretty nice hand here. Gonna go ahead and keep it. We got a nice little 1, 2, 3 curve. 1 tap land, but shouldn't be an issue with the amount of cheap stuff we have. We can find a way to play around it. So, Spell Pierce is here, as I said before, mainly as a way to counteract the Cutter matchup. This is a very strong answer for Cutter, and there's not a lot of those in the format. So, if our opponent leads on blue-red something, then I'm a lot more likely to hold up the Spell Pierce on turn 2. Seeing a black-green land means probably not going to have to do that right now. Might be better on turn 3 if they're going to go for an Unholy Annex or something like that. But let's see what we're up against. To start things off, we find a Preacher of the Schism. So what I like to do when playing blue-black is start by attacking with the Spyglass Siren. Even if I'm considering cracking a map on it, I still like to just get in there with it right away. So with our opponent leading their lands like this, it is pretty likely they have a cut down. And I don't love running Bat into cut down. So I could just go for crack map, hold up Spell Pierce, and maybe decide if I want to cut down if they do play a Spell Pierce. And that's a lot worse into Preacher, but or better into Preacher, but worse into Annex. I think I'm going to go for the upside play of just playing the Bat, just because I have two. It doesn't matter that much if it trades with a cut down, and I'd like the ability to maybe be able to take something good out of the hand here. See, um, they did have the cut down. They also have Rot Curse, Roxasha, Shieldred, Shoot the Sheriff, and Unholy Annex. So they are going to get to slam the Annex here, and guess it would have worked out better if we'd held up Spell Pierce, maybe gone Tapland Spell Pierce. But Annex resolving is not the end of the world by any means. It's annoying, but it's not just game over. So opponent draws 2 life, or draws a card, gains 2 life. I can go Bat, hold up Spell Pierce here. Maybe try and take them off of playing the Rock Curse Roxasha and also having the Shoot the Sheriff. Maybe they go for it and I'm able to counter it. I think I like that play more than running Creature into possibly Shoot the Sheriff plus Roxasha. Could also just go Bat Tapland and the next turn try to hold up Spell Pierce plus Preacher. So if they have untapped land in their hand, then it's going to be pretty hard to stop them from doing their 2 spells over there. I think I like play Bat. Let's see what they have, I guess. So no other land. So we can take Shoot the Sheriff or Roxasha. I think it's going to be in our best interest to take the Roxasha and then go ahead and play this Underground River. Pass the turn. They can go ahead and try and Shoot the Sheriff this, or duress me, or just slam Shieldred. That is certainly another option. They go for that one. So they're not taking damage from their card. They're also not gaining life anymore. I need to find a removal spell for this Shieldred real quick. The question is, do I want to go Preacher plus hold up Spell Pierce for that Gix's command? Or do I want to just slam the Curiosity and try to kill their stuff? The problem is they have the Duress, so even if I find it off these couple cards here, it's pretty likely it just gets Duressed away. So let's play it a little bit slower. Preacher's not the worst thing to play in the face of a Shieldred. It blocks it efficiently, at least. Plus, if our opponent does decide to try and slam a Gix's command, we'll have the Spell Pierce. But maybe could have navigated this match a little bit better. Let's see what they do. They start with Duress. Gonna go Spell Pierce on this because it is the only card in my hand. We'll see if they decide to pay the 2. They don't, which makes sense. So traded anyway, and then they go Shoot the Sheriff on my creature. And at least Duress is gone, but this Shieldred is going to be giving me a really hard time. And unfortunately, I kind of just have to go Curiosity into attack. Hope to find an answer for this thing. There's a Preacher and Gloomlake Verge. I guess we'll go crack the map here to just maybe dig a little bit deeper. That will go into the graveyard and force them to destroy it with the Gix's command. Although I guess I'd prefer to chump. It does trade with the Shieldred now, but they do have the Gix's command, which would kind of blow me out completely here. So probably losing this game 1. Played against a lot of Demons decks at the RC, and I was 4-1 overall against them. But bit of an awkward draw here. Probably could have played in a way to get rid of that Unholy Annex earlier, but we're not completely dead yet. We have like a turn to draw some removal and then chain it into more removal. Carsey Revenant isn't removal, but does stop an attack, at least for this turn, although likely not going to do me any good. Probably should have played the tap land last turn. That would have let me double spell here. Not the best play coming out of me right now, but there's always the rest of the games. Yeah, we're dead on board. They have the Restless Cottage too, although I guess that doesn't kill us. Um, Pretty dead regardless, though. They duress me. Duress doesn't find anything here. And they go for a second annex, and do they have a demon? Yes, they have the Rakshasa they got back. So that'll be game over. Let's go to the next one. Game number 2. So up against the Demon's decks, I like to bring in Tidebinder. Helps out against the Annex, as well as Shieldred. You can counter that. I also like Masterminds. I like a Disdainful Stroke, and I like the other big commanding stuff to come in. I like to cut the cut downs. They don't have a lot that I can hit with them, and even if they are playing like Mosswood Dread Knight, it's not the best thing to hit. I do board in the Anoint. It's just slightly better removal. And then I like to lose the Karses. They do block well, but that's really not what this matchup is about. And I like to board out my bats because they die to removal, and eventually my opponent is just going to get the card back. The last card is probably between Disdainful Stroke and Intimidation Tactics. And I think Disdainful Stroke is a little bit better. It just hits all the important stuff. Like Shieldred is one of the harder things for me to deal with, just puts so much pressure on. As well as the annexes are solid in some scenarios. But let's do that, ship it back on the play for game number 2. Well, 3 swamps and Spyglass Siren and Kaito. These cards are very good together and very good in the matchup, but I think it's got to be a mulligan. I'm just not doing anything here. Maybe it's alright, maybe I don't need to lead on this anyway, but I have to find a blue source and probably some more action. Let's just send it back and see what we can find. This is not a lot better, but I do think it's better than going to 5 on the play. As I said, these matchups are pretty good generally. That doesn't mean you cannot lose them. I lost one at the event, but I need to find Kaito or something else of that sort here. Let's see what they go for on turn 2. They go for nothing, so probably a lot of removal over there, and I do not feel the need to play anything into a lot of removal. I'm quite alright to sit back. Found a Curiosity, which is a great way to recoup the cards I've lost from mulliganing, as well as being on the play. And opponent does nothing here. So I feel no need to do anything either. Now I have the Soulstone Sanctuary too, so draws have been very kind to me. And opponent still not doing anything. Again, I see no reason to do anything here. If I activate this Soulstone Sanctuary, they're just going to kill it. I think my cards are generally a little bit more mana efficient than theirs. And if they ever miss a land drop, if they want to just keep playing this game, then if they miss a land drop, they will move to discard, and I can do that. So, a bit of a weird game, but I am still just going to keep passing. There's something that'll make me act, I guess. No reason not to run out the Spyglass Siren. Uh, I'm okay to trade this one with removal. See what they have for it. Maybe this forces some other sort of action from them. They're just going to cut down it, so nice bit of value for me. I get to keep this map around. And now they play Sirach, Elusive Hunter. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do here is I can go Flood Pits Drowner, tap it down. The ability triggers, and I will just Tidebinder that trigger, And then if they want to use removal spells here, I can just go ahead and untap in Curiosity and start drawing some cards while also holding up my counter spells. They go for Harvester of Misery, which in this exact spot is gonna let me just counter that trigger instead. I mean, I'd rather them draw a card than this basically means we both draw a card, but I get to keep my creature around instead of neither of us draw a card. So let's go ahead and get in with this stuff. And find an underground river. Any of their wraths are going to be counterable for me this turn, so a good turn to just run everything out. Like if they want to slam a Gix's command here, I have a very nice answer rolled up with this Phantom Interference, which it looks like is what they're doing here. So let's go ahead and counter that. And drawing quite a few cards here. Could definitely still die. But nope, they're going to scoop it up. And excellent. Moving along to game number 3. Uh, Probably want the intimidation tactics over... Could be interference on the draw, but no, interference is just too powerful against them. Could be a Shieldred. Shieldred's good, but a little bit clunky on the draw. Let's trim a Shieldred. I like Shieldred, don't love it. All right, let's do that. This hand is pretty nice. Little low on lands, but we have everything we'll need for a longer game other than that. Let's see what they do. Starting off with a Duress. Probably taking my Phantom Interference. Yeah, that makes sense. Find second Gix's command. That's not ideal, but oh well. Take what you can get, and let's see what they go for on turn 2. Rot Curse Rakshasa. Okay. I find a Preacher. So we do have these masterminds to kind of dissuade them from going for an Unholy Annex, but with the Rakshasa in play, Annex does draw them cards. Do I want to run one out now? I think yes, just because I'm stuck on 2 lands as well. We'll trade it for a Go for the Throat and then maybe slam a Preacher. Don't find a Preacher. Would prefer to run out a Flood Pits Drowner, unless they find land for Annex, in which case I'm happy to run out a Fairy Mastermind too. There's a land. They slam the Annex. We're both drawing cards. See whose are better. Who can find more lands first? I find Disdainful Stroke, which, not ideal. Essentially, I'm taking 2 damage every turn from this, but they don't have a ton else going on, so I can kind of keep playing this slow. They play Duress, sure. They take one of my 2 Gix's commands, play out a second Annex. Okay, so we need to find an answer to that. I guess I could have Disdainful Stroked this, probably should have. Oh, man, that's actually a bit of a big mistake. Because, yeah, I really need to find an answer to this thing so I stop taking damage from these annexes. But they could also just unlock one next turn. And in that case, I need to hold up Tidebinder. So, yeah, really should have Disdainful Stroked that just to slow down their roll a little bit. And now I can go Drowner the Rakshasa, hope that they didn't find a land, and probably win if they don't. I could slam Preacher, but I really need to take care of this thing. Or I can hold up Tidebinder and I guess counter one of the triggers to save myself a bit of life. I think I like just countering a trigger. I mean, I could also just get Kaito into play and ignore some of the life loss and hope to just start drawing cards with it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, actually. So hit you for 5 and draw a card. Gotta hit my land drops. Fortunately, cannot play another one this turn, but see what they do. Could be Shieldred or it's a Harvester of Misery, and I take some damage. So I can tap down the Harvester, or I can tap it down with Flood Pit Drowner and try to dig for interaction. Or I can tap down the Rock Sasha and try and counter an Annex with this Tidebinder. The problem is they still have this stupid Rock Sasha in play that's just letting them do this over and over. I think I'm gonna go tap down Harvester, get in, and then just pass. Opponent plays third Annex. Oh, I guess I can't Disdainful Stroke that. I really thought I could. Okay. Into second Rock Sasha. Ay, ay, ay. This is kind of the worst case for me, actually. Because now I have 2 of these things that I have to take care of, and I can't use my mana to its fullest potential here. They're going to draw 3 cards. My Mastermind is dead, so I'm getting none. I find a go for the throat, but I guess that allows me to kill both, play out a Siren, and draw a card. But if they have an answer to my Siren, I'm at 4, and this Cottage is just going to kill me, or they can just unlock a thing. So, is there another way out of this? I can go Gix's Command, make them sacrifice a creature, and then put 2 counters on Kaito. I'm just never going to be able to clear all these demons, though, is the issue. Yeah, I really needed to... Well, I guess I can't Disdainful Stroke an Unholy Annex, so that was never even an option. I just needed to find an answer to this Rot Curse earlier, so that they weren't dealing me all this damage from the triple Annex. I can go make them sacrifice plus Kaito and put counters on it to make it just big enough to get through, then tap down their thing, but tapping down their things doesn't even do that much. But not doing that means I probably just die. If Gix's Command, if I got to choose with Gix's Command, then it would be doable here, because I could get rid of this one and then chump the Restless Cottage. But I don't think it is doable. So I'll just go for Gix's Command, put 2 counters, make them sacrifice. Creature with the greatest power. Um, we'll put the counters on Drowner, and then after getting in, tap down the second Raksasha with Kaito, and then technically not die here, but be pretty dead without the ability to kill 3 things next turn, and we're only going to be able to draw 1 card. Yeah, the Raksasha looking pretty good there. I think I only played against one list that had that tech, and it was pretty weak when I played against it, but with all annexes, definitely get some work done. I needed to just hit that land a turn or 2 earlier. And probably would have made a different play on that last turn. I mean, finding removal earlier would have been pretty good as well. Let's see what they do, though. They just play Shieldred. Yeah, we're super dead here. Let's scoop it up, move along, and get into match number 2. See if we play more demons or something else. See you then. On the draw again for match number 2, but pretty solid hand. Do have 4 lands, which is maybe 1 too many. But got a nice curve to start things out. Opponent leads on Seachrome Coast. So not sure what Seachrome Coast means exactly. Could be Omni, could be Oculus. We'll see as the game progresses. Probably not Jeskai Control. One of the matchups that I did lose to. It's an Iron Crag, so this is looking like blue-white artifacts. I mean, it's got to be at this point. Don't think anything else is running the Iron Crag. Preacher is a nice find. I think I want to just go a little bit aggressive with these Spyglass Sirens. Going aggressive not helped by finding a land, but you can never really be too upset when your map turns into a 1-mana clue. It's just a solid rate on the card. I mean, your opponent does get to see, so a little bit worse, but does draw you a card. Let's see what opponent does on turn 3. Simulacrum Synthesizer. Okay. So they're going to start pumping out guys. I'm going to hopefully be able to get some of those guys out of the way with the Flood Pits Drowner. And they play a red-white Surveil land, meaning they could be on some sort of 3-color artifact deck, which is not something I've seen. I think I'm just going to jam this Preacher this turn. Keep getting in with these flyers. Would like a little bit more pressure, which if they don't kill the Preacher, it will provide. It's pretty good at attacking through even some of the larger creatures that the Synthesizer may make. Is this Kalo's Reconstruction? Yeah. Can tell when they're playing an X spell, but let's see what they get. They could possibly pump out a lot of creatures right now. And yeah, they're going to be able to make 2, 3 giant tokens and kill my Preacher, which is pretty hard for me to beat. That being said, this I think is also a pretty good matchup. Just all my interaction lines up pretty nicely, but probably losing this game. Probably losing this game. Cut Down and Flood Pits Drown are not the interaction I'm talking about. The Duresses and Spell Pierces and stuff like that, all the counter spells. Like, imagine we counter that play for 1 mana. That's pretty good. And if we'd had that in hand, we're probably doing that, but we can move this along. I do not have the resources to beat 3 7/7s, even with my opponent having nothing else. So let's completely change our deck. Going into game number 2, we don't want these go for the throats. All their creatures are artifacts. We don't want these cut downs. All their creatures are too big for it. Now, with the bad cards out of the way, let's start bringing the good stuff in. Gix's command, I think, is also a little slow here. We want Disdainful Stroke. It hits their expensive, really good spells, although maybe we don't want both. Let's see what else we have to bring in. Definitely want Duress. Definitely want Tactics. I think Anoint is good enough, does take care of one of those creatures. Tidebinder, probably the best card we could even have in this matchup. And do we want Shieldred? Do we want Masterminds? I don't think we need Masterminds. I don't think they're drawing a lot of single cards. So let's just stay low to the ground, mean and lean, with as much counter spells and discard spells as we can pack into the deck, and ship it. On the play for game number 2. Well, this hand does not meaningfully interact with any of the, pardon my language, bull crap they get up to. It does have an okay curve, though, but I think we can do better post-board. And I think this is actually a little bit better. Definitely more aggressive, but, I mean, them getting their engine online is kind of what you gotta look out for, so the interaction, really, really important here. Let's lead on Spyglass Siren to get that pressure going right away. And best draw would be a Kaito here. These two creatures both work really well with Kaito. Let's start by cracking the map, and then going to go for tactics. After putting the second swamp on the bottom, did not want to find numbers 3 and 4. We'll take the Iron Crag to slow them down a little bit, but yeah, match not looking great. Seachrome Coast comes down from them. With no play after that, we gotta start finding some non-land cards. Spell Pierce is alright. Pretty good on one of these United Battlefronts. Guess we'll see if they use a Perilous Snare. Probably gonna get the Drowner down this turn just to, apply a little more pressure. Especially if they go Perilous Snare this turn. They play another Seachrome Coast, so that's counting for at least one of their draws. And they play the Perilous Snare. I mean, we'll let it resolve. But I am gonna run out the Drowner. Makes Kaito a better draw. Find a Reef now. And let's get in for 2. Pass the turn. They play their Flood Farm Verge, probably going for a United Battlefront here. We have one answer. We need to find another one, though. Kaito is still probably the best draw, because I can get some more pressure in, all while digging for more answers. No Kaito found. So I can hold up a second Drowner or just animate this Restless Reef. I think I should just be going for damage here and hope their finds aren't perfect. We'll mill myself in case we find like a Carsey Revenant. Find some solid stuff, but not exactly what I'm looking for now. Really just want a Kaito. I guess a little sketchy too to tap out and just like be like, yep, you definitely can resolve this battlefront. But let's see what they find. Hopefully some whiffs, some not great stuff. Not sure exactly what's in their deck, so hard to know. That's the other thing about big tournaments like RCs is everybody's generally or you're in an open deck list format, so you do get to know what everybody's on. They find Repurposing Bay and Candy Trail. They scry. Let's see what they do with them. Scry 2 to the top. That's terrifying. And they play another Verge, so we know about one island in the hand. Give me Kaito. Tidebinder. Tidebinder is not Kaito, but still pretty good. We get to hit them down to 8, and then have 2 more flash threats to deploy, both of which interact with their board in pretty meaningful ways. Let's see what they go for here. Looking like Reconstruction X equals 3. That's fine. See what they hit. Looking at the top 7, they get 3 of them. But with this Restless Reef, we have a lot of damage next turn. They are tapped out. So we just need to dodge these next couple cards being really, really good, and that should do it. We counter that. play out another Flood Pits Drowner. And I mean, that kind of just illustrates how good my interaction is here and how United Battlefront feels really scary when they resolve it, but I mean, the first one did not affect the board at all. The second one would have killed one thing. So, yep, let's move along. It's really only scary when they have the simulacrum synthesizers in play. So if you're able to dodge those, then feels pretty good. This is not a great hand. Let's send it back. This one's a lot better. Some nice interaction for what they're doing. Do I want to keep the Preacher as just a way to start accruing some value, or just play the full flash game and put back like this Flood Pits Drowner? I think I'm gonna put back the Preacher and just play the flash game. It worked out pretty well in that last one. Finding an island, not ideal. It is pretty nice into the saw blades. They're like cheap removal. Kaito. That's a good one too. But for now, we'll just pass. I mean, they do have answers to Kaito. But there's just never... There's no such thing as a really strong answer to Kaito. I think here... No, let's just run this out, and probably not gonna ninjutsu Kaito here, just so I can hold up Tidebinder and Spell Pierce, but still want to get this damage in, especially when I don't know if they have anything um that even like affects it in any way. I do want to get this island down now, so that way I can choose which one of these I might want to use next turn, but also leave myself open to Kaito and hold up Spell Pierce next turn, which I guess I could, but then I'd have to make my decision on the two of these sooner. But for now, let's hold up Tidebinder and get in with the Flood Pits Drowner. Now the question becomes, do I counter United Battlefront, or do I just Spell Pierce it? I mean, Spell Pierce it, or do I just Tidebinder? And I think the answer is just Tidebinder. Now, do I want to Tidebinder a Clay-Fired Bricks? I think also yes, I do. Still have this Spell Pierce for a big play next turn, and the bricks would help them kind of start working around my Spell Pierce too. Alright, let's go for Soulstone Sanctuary and plan on ninjutsuing back the Tidebinder if they let me, or if they have the Saw Blades, then we'll get back the Drowner. But, I mean, I could just Spell Pierce this, get back Tidebinder. What can they really do next turn that, like, blows me out? It's just Battlefront, and it would have to be into, like, Synthesizer, or I guess Perilous Snare is pretty good. But then I have a Tidebinder in hand, and I draw a card off this Kaito. It's really tempting. I think I'm going to Spell Pierce it. This could be wrong, but getting back a Tidebinder with Kaito is just so huge in the matchup where Tidebinder is, like, my best card. And we still have a lot of pressure in a lot of different ways. I don't think I want either of those. Deep Cavern Bat is fine. Because if they go Perilous Snare, I'm, like, okay with that. Plus, if they could have just had, yeah, land Perilous Snare, and then that just plays around my Spell Pierce anyway. They kind of have to go for a kill on this Kaito, otherwise it's going to take over the game. And Synthesizer, too, like, they play Synthesizer this turn, they can't play another thing. They had to, like, Battlefront into it and another thing, Because now I can just Tidebinder the trigger when it, like, goes off. I found another Kaito, so just an embarrassment of riches here. Let's take a look at their hand. See what those last two cards are. It's a Braided Net and a Plains, so we'll take the Braided Net. Play a Fountain Port. I guess I should have waited until post-combat, but I'm probably bottoming any land I draw with this Kaito anyway. And I probably also should have plussed it. Uh, Kaito is very good to plus when you have everything you need to win the game and you're just trying to end it sooner. Don't want either of these. Already even have backup Kaito. So let's just pass with our best possible piece of interaction up and our opponent top decking. They play that Plains. They go Perilous Snare, which now I can just Tidebinder the Exile trigger. And, yeah. I can let them make one artifact now. 1/4/4. Does not do a ton against my board. Just tap it down with Kaito, animate this Sanctuary, and get in for lethal. I think I have it without that, too, but... When in Rome, do as the Romans did, which was, activating Soulstone Sanctuaries. So, we'll tap that. And win the match up against, yeah, a good matchup, although, I mean, that game one, we just have so many dead cards, but game two, all of our cards are insane, so pretty solid matchup overall. You just have to, like, it's a little sketchy because you got to lose that game one first, but, yep, let's move along. On the play for the first time this video, I'll take it. Pretty bad hand, though. One land, can't cast a single spell in my hand. Into bunch of lands, can cast all the spells, but it's still a lot of lands. I'm gonna keep, just because I don't love going to 4. Gonna send back this one of these islands, and yeah, looks like my opponent's on a mulligan as well, which reads well when I have 2 discard spells in my hand. But who knows? Tactics could always miss, and it could be another game 1 loss for the good guys. Let me fix my camera. The good guys being blue-black midrange, which is not the most fun deck to play against. I'll give people that. Give everyone else that. But it's super fun to play. I recommend it for anybody who wants to have a good time. All right, opponent has kept 6 as well. Let's get into it. Intimidation Tactics U. Up against a Corey Steel Cutter deck. I think I want to take Corey, and then next turn I'm going to go ahead and take that Slick Shot. Definitely good to be able to get rid of a Corey Steel Cutter. It's the best card in their deck by a pretty wide margin, although would be nice to stop drawing lands, maybe a Preacher here. They have Into the Floodmaw. One, that, gone. Let's just take the Slick Shot show off. If they want to discard their hand to draw 2, that's fine. They got a lot of cards in there, so not the end of the world. Plus, we can start pinging in with this bat now. Play their second Verge. See if they just want a Hearth Elemental. Doesn't seem great, and yeah, I understand them not going for it here. I will take a point. Tap, draw. Find Phantom Interference. That's a nice one here. Stops their next, like, good play if they ever find one of those. Swift Spear. Do I counter that? I think so, because I just want to start putting the pressure on with these man lands. Like, I know I drew 5 lands, but these ones are... pretty good ones to draw. Let's just counter that and keep them low on threats, myself high on stuff to do. More lands being found, but if I was gonna draw a land, I would want it to be a Soulstone Sanctuary. Opponent finally finds blue mana. Scary stuff. They're getting in for one. Are they going to bounce the bat? They might go and bounce my Soulstone Sanctuary too and just set me back a turn. I mean, I'm still going to animate it. That's fine with me. I'm not doing anything else here. Okay. Play another one. Move to combat. Hit you for 3 or 4. See if they take. They do. So maybe going to like cantrip on end step. Not sure why they're not utilizing their spells there. I guess they want to bounce the bat on end step and hit with this slick shot, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather them have a slick shot than the Hearth Elemental now as they kind of find more lands and stuff to do. And they pass. So let's go ahead and animate another Soulstone and find an on-land card. Nope. More land. All right. So I don't see a reason, honestly, to attack with these two. I guess if I have all my mana open, they really shouldn't be blocking with their Swift Spears, but maybe they just have to hope. I've drawn uh, 8 lands and 3 spells. So if they have Monstrous Rage, that lets them kill both of these and bounce my bat, which is pretty good. So, yeah, let's just attack with this. It's like a weird play, but I don't know. I don't want to like I feel like I should play based on what I actually have in hand rather than what I wish I had in my hand right now. And my board presence is a lot better, so if we're both doing nothing, then eventually I'll hopefully find some non-land spells to cast. And next turn I can get in with this Restless Reef, which is a lot better than these Soulstone Sanctuaries at getting through a monstrous raged creature, although they can just bounce it with Into the Floodmaw. I don't know how much I care about that. I really just want to find any spell, though. Except, like, Spell Pierce, I guess, is the worst one. Opponent goes into the Floodmaw, my Deep Cavern Bat. I will say okay to that. And they cast Slickshot Show Off. And now they are attacking. With just the Show Off. Say okay to that, too. Take 1 point of damage. And okay, now we'll go. I mean, start with a bat. Playing out this first. They have 2 Hearth Elementals. All right. Wow, really, really awkward hand for them. So we'll take one of them. Then we'll go cut down now and just get in with these 2. But yeah, that's a that's a real awkward draw for them. Let's see what they find next turn. They are getting pretty low. They find Spirebluff Canal, and they'll discard 0, draw 2. So pretty good Hearth Elemental here. Can't cast or Stoke Genius, I suppose. I guess it depends on what they find. You gotta find some answer to this bat, as well as some answers to these Soulstone Sanctuaries, and I need to just keep drawing removal, drowners, not Underground River specifically. Let's go ahead and fire up the Reef. And just go all in. If they have 2 spells here, they get to eat both of these Soulstone Sanctuaries. But I'm like running out of time. I gotta do something, and if they're gonna kill my bat eventually, then I can't just keep whacking in with it. They have Opt, Scry to the bottom, and okay. Doesn't look like they have a second spell here. Good for me. And they scoop it up. Cool. Really, really weird game where they just didn't have any spells to cast, any non-creature spells, and I just had only lands, but Flood often beats Screw. Um, so I will walk you through how I board in the Cutter matchup. Didn't play against any Hearth Elemental builds, but I will be boarding the same most likely. Kaito, bad here. Very, very bad is Kaito. Enduring Curiosity, surprisingly good. On the draw, Phantom Interference is another one I like to cut. The cards that are very good here, we got Shieldred, Gix's Command, Scavenger Regent, and the 2 Duress. Now, against a Slickshot Show-Off version of the deck, I do like to board in the Annoyance, as that one is just a really tricky creature that you really got to kill as soon as it comes down. Um, but against the decks that are playing Drake, Hatcher, or something else, you can kind of ignore it a little bit more. I like to board out 1 Curiosity, but you still need them for a card advantage as the game progresses, and then 1 Spyglass Siren. They're just a little bit weak compared to your opponent's bodies and cards, and you don't have Kaito to make them really good. Also, trimming a Curiosity. You want to be just more mid-rangey. So, yeah, that's what I like to do here. Oh, I do actually like to cut the Intimidation tactics. It just actually misses a lot of the time, especially on the draw if they already play their Swift Spear. So for now, what do I want to keep in on the draw? I could go with the Hearth Elementals, the Mastermind. But maybe with Hearth Elemental I do, because it's always going to be like their last card in hand, so it's a good one to snag even if you draw the Intimidation tactics a little bit later. Plus it just ups their creature count. This is a hand I feel like I have to keep, but don't love. I don't have a good way to answer the Cutter with my Duress, Spell Pierce, and Tactics. And they lead with a Sleight of Hand. I kept it off the back of... I have interaction, and I have ways to help myself if when the game goes a little bit longer. Like this Curiosity is going to be pretty solid there. And Drowner can regain you a little bit of tempo into a Cutter. Opponent not scared of the Spell Pierce there. Makes sense. I'll just go ahead and pass with one of these Flood Pits Drowners available, or an Anoint if I really need to. Opponent Sleight of Hands. See if they have another spell to cast. Island Opt. Okay. So they're doing a lot of cantripping. They don't have a ton of pressure now, but this Corey Steel Cutter is pretty annoying. Flood Pits Drowner does allow me to tap it down and have my own creature in play, though. We'll see if they have a shock for it. Doesn't look like they want to use it. Maybe they just don't have a ton of spells in hand, so they want to hold the shock. Nope, they're just going to fire it off. Makes sense. But not the end of the world for me. Let's go Spyglass Siren and then just hold up our stuff here. Playing the Island over the Swamp, because the most likely thing I do this turn is Flood Pits Drowner, because that lets me untap for a really good Curiosity. They play second Cutter. Yeah, that's good. Cutter is terrifying if they have a lot more card draw. It's a Storm Chaser's Talent, which is not as annoying, but still solid. And if they have Torch the Tower, then this game is pretty over. But let's just let them attack first. I'll take the damage. and run out this Drowner, tap down that Otter token so that they don't have any blocks for my creatures, and then I will be probably just running out this Curiosity. We kind of need to get some of our own advantage going before we can start removing all these creatures. Looking for a Gix's command here too would be really good. Kind of clean up nicely, gain us some life. But looks like they're torching. So opponent had it all here. We're probably pretty dead. With 3 tokens here already, our form of card advantage interacted with and gone. See, that's a situation where Shieldred probably would have been better. Just pressure their life total, but with 2 Cories in play, me not having any answer, kind of a weak draw from myself. It's just okay to lose these games sometimes, and Cutter is probably the most difficult matchup. Aside from like mono red and stuff like that. But I have plans for it, and the plans were working out all right. I was 2-1 against the blue-red Cutter decks at the RC, and of course their last card is Stoke Genius, probably the best last card you can have in your hand. Looks really good here, and it's also a 1 mana 4/5. So yeah, let's scoop it up and move along to game number 3. On the play, do like to change a couple things around. I like one Tidebinder as another answer to Corey on the play, as well as just having more 3-drops on the play can be nice because you really want to curve out. So let's do that. Cutting the tactics. All right. Very nice hand here. Probably even going to lead on the Spyglass Siren over the Duress in case they draw the Cutter on their first turn or cantrip into it or something like that. But yeah, really, really just want to nab a Cutter with this Duress. Let's see what they have. Nothing. All right. So gonna Duress them. Pretty likely they have a shock here, so not gonna crack the map on this Siren. I'll just hold up Underground River for cut down. They shock now. Okay. Sleight of Hand, Flood Maw, Stalk Up, Unable to Scream. No Cutter. Just gonna take the Stalk Up because it's the scariest thing they have right now. They do have some nice answers to this Preacher, so I could have taken like the Unable to Scream, but then they get to just bounce it into Slam a Stalk Up, which is also pretty good for them. So I think it's a little bit better to take away their game-winning card. They find Storm Chaser's Talent, sure. That will be able to get back a Stalk Up at some point, and it's a little bit annoying to find another land here. But we do have the play of Drowner them this turn. They have another talent. That's a pretty good one. We know their last 3 cards, right? No, we don't. They played this island. Alright, so they'll go to combat. We'll go Flood Pit's Drowner, tap down your 2/2. And just gonna kill this otter now. Okay. Okay, untap draw. Well, let's crack the map on the Drowner. See if they want to bounce it in response. I'm quite okay with that. They do not. We draw a card off of it, but now we have just lands in hand and a Preacher. And I think we have to run it out because otherwise they play a land. They just go use talent to get back stock up. And that's pretty hard. I mean, we're running it into this Unable to Scream, but that was going to happen at some point anyway. Really just needed to find a little bit more top end. Curiosity would be really good here. Well, we don't have Kaito in the deck anymore. They're going for the Unable to Scream. Sure. And Opt. see where they put the card. That's the chat. Card goes to the bottom. Okay. Draw. Find Restless Reef. I mean, if I'm gonna find a land, I guess I want that one, but... yeah, very, very flooded match. We want Shieldreds here. We want Scavenger Regent. More Preachers. Although the longer this goes, the worse it's looking for us because they have these Storm Chasers talent to get back stock up. And we don't really have a way of accruing card advantage right now. Looks like they just had another stock up in hand. Yep. So I don't know, maybe just needed to take this Unable to Scream and let them stock up earlier. But, I mean, since then, we've drawn 3 lands in a row, so can't say I'm super unhappy with my decision. Sure. Take 2. Draw. Find Fountain Port. Still land, though. And I think I just have to do this. Do not think Fountain Port is ever outgrinding double Storm Chaser's talents with stock up, so gotta try and end this game a little bit sooner. But, I mean, we know they have Flood Maw, which is a 1-mana answer to Restless Reef, and now they're just going for straight damage with this show-off, and we've just got all lands. We drew 1, 2, 3, 4 spells. That's just not enough. Or I guess 5 with the Siren, but yeah. Carsey Revenant is, I guess, something, although they're just going to bounce it now. Then we can make a token, so let's go Carsey, pass. We're looking for Gix's command here. It's not over. We just need to have very good draws. And they don't bounce it now, I guess because they want the triggers from bouncing it. Okay, 1 trigger. And they go to combat. I mean, we have the out of... I should have blocked there, because I'm just looking for Gix's command now, or Scavenger Regent, I guess. If they just go level up talent and we find Gix's command, get back 2 things, that's like solid. But we need it right now. They're just going to get back stock up, probably. Yeah, I should have blocked, but oh well. It might cost me 2 damage, which could be very relevant here. I guess they're considering just getting Burst Lightning back to, like, kill me faster. Or another answer to Carsey, but it's pretty likely they find that with stock up. Maybe they want to get Torch for a clean answer to the Carsey, too. I don't know. They go for the Torch, trying to end this game sooner rather than later. I mean, I think that's a little bit better for me. I still need to draw really, really well regardless, but them running out of threats would be nice. That's not bad either. Let's go Carsey Revenant. And get in with the fish. I mean, they are kind of low. We get to tap down Slick Shot. They probably kill Carsey, but they don't... maybe they don't have a ton else going on. And we get to chump block the Otter with Preacher this turn. So maybe actually working out. Carsey dies, that's fine. And where did they scry with that? To the bottom. Like to see that. They go for an opt now. To the bottom. Now they can't activate talent unless they play a land. Go for a sleight of hand. Okay. So we're getting closer and closer to dying to Monstrous Rage, but it's possible they board that out, so maybe don't have to worry about it, and I really can't play around it. They take a card with Slight. I guess we don't get to know if they wanted that one or not. Let's go ahead and play a Drowner. Tap down Slick Shot Show Off. Opponent attacks. This would be 8 power with Monstrous Rage, but we can't double chump. We can't play around the rage here. Okay. Take nothing. That's nice. And they go for a kill on the Drowner. That's fine. Think we should sacrifice the fish here. Find Go for the Throat. That's a nice one to pick up. Find Duress as well, so let's Duress them. See what's in hand. Floodmaw Hearth Elemental. Always the last card Hearth Elemental, huh? Okay, well. We'll do this. And get in for 4. Mill myself to find a Carsey Revenant. Don't find it. And pass. They go Swift Spear. Yeah, that's a good one. Into Hearth Elemental, draw 2 cards. Okay. Very intense game. Let's see if they play the Hearth Elemental. They do. So are we just all in on finding Gix's command here? I think we do want to just kill this now. Use our mana in case we find something that, like, draws cards in a way. Plus we have all this stuff to do with our mana. Ugh. The 4th Underground River was not what we needed, was it? Yeah, we're just dead on board. Just actual dead on board. Shoot the GGs over there. And yeah, because they can just get back Burst Lightning. And even if I hold back on block, they Burst Lightning my face. I can only block one thing. Or activate the Fountain Port to block a second, in which case Burst Lightning to my face is lethal regardless. So, scoop it up. 1 and 2, but very interesting game and really goes to show you how close this matchup is. Imagine I'd found this Shieldred a turn or two earlier. It's just all in my favor then. Imagine if the Shieldred, instead of the Go for the Throat, I duress away their Floodmaw, and they can't even cast the Hearth Elemental, and then I'm probably winning that game. But that's all right. Happens to the best of us. Maybe it was better to wait on drawing a card, but yeah, it's a tough matchup and played pretty well, I think. That's how it goes. Let's get on into the next one. Match number 4 on the draw. This is one lander. Ship it. This is another one lander, but on 6 with 4 1-drops. Maybe just the kind of one lander you have to keep. Spyglass Sirens can dig you a little bit deeper, and we are on the draw. Let's keep it. Throw back the Drowner, I think. Just have as much cheap interaction and spells as possible. Opponent on Meticulous Archive, wishing I kept the Drowner and not one of these cut downs, because it's looking like a control deck. Find the land on turn 1. That is good to see for me. Play a Siren, pass it over. Hope these cut downs have targets, but they probably don't. We'll just move them over here. Not necessary for this match. They will be coming out. This is actually the guy who won the event, Casey Miller. I lost my winning into top 8 to him in the feature match, so go check that out if you want. But yeah, this is probably his list, I would assume. And lost game 1 to getting stuck on 2 lands. Game 2, Was a close one. Could have played around what he had a little bit, but I don't think I played it bad. And obviously a great player, winning the entire tournament. And you gotta have a lot of good luck at that level too. I mean, at any big tournament, you gotta play well, and that's what you can control. But then beyond that, you gotta get lucky too. And I mean, I top decked quite a few Shieldreds myself. Um, Top decked stuff when I needed it too. So can't say I didn't get lucky. 11-3 and 1 drawing in the last round is a pretty lucky record. Opponent temporary lockdowns away my Spyglass Sirens. I get pretty lucky and find this, and this is one of the best ways to win this matchup, is they haven't cast a stock up, and they don't have one, so that Shiko they have in their hand probably next turn, because they did discard one to the Dragonstorm, is not going to be able to flash anything back, and we're going to draw some cards off of this Curiosity. They do play their one thing that I can actually like answer with cut down, which is fish tokens there, but does not mean I wanted to draw more. So let's get in with the car seat Revenant. Then we'll just go ahead and run out Siren. We want to buff up this so it can trade, or it can just draw me a card. That's fine too. But would have preferred to get it out of like Lightning Helix range and give it the ability to trade with that. Opponent goes stock up, but if they don't have efficient removal for my stuff right now, I'm going to be able to draw a couple cards. If they want to kill this Revenant main phase, that's pretty okay with me too, because I'll get to suit up the Enduring Curiosity, give it Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. I've been boarding out the Carsey Revenants, but maybe they're just like good. They don't have a lot of exile-based removal. Like, they're not running Ride's End. Temporary Lockdown doesn't hit it. Even if it gets, um, like, the Flying Death Touch Lifelink is kind of just good against them. But, alright. They cast stock up, and they pass to me. See what I find. Flood Pits Drowner. Yeah. Cut down. Cut down. Drowner. We just want to draw as many cards as possible here. I'm pretty sure their only Wraths are stock ups. They might have one main deck Wrath of God. So that would be pretty good here, but and they gotta go Helix on the Revenant, which is like not even that great for them. I get to put it onto something, and I find the one of Phantom Interference. Wow, that was good. Now they try and slam a Shiko here. I'm just so far ahead. Floodpits Drowner was a nice one. Drowner can be pretty strong in this matchup when they really want to try and stabilize with a 5 mana 4/5. Even if it gets some value, you can kind of tempo them out with a Floodpits Drowner. And let's see what they're slamming here. There's Shiko, and sorry, Shiko. I mean, I said it, you got to get lucky to win. And we certainly got lucky here. I mean, we drew 3 cut downs, so actually 4 cut downs in the top 20 cards. But beyond that, pretty good draw. I mean, we would have found a bunch of lands and a Deep Cavern Bat next turn, so not even like a lock to win this game, but take it. Go to game number 2, where this matchup gets a lot better. Board in this Gix's Command is kind of a 5-mana answer that gets back 2 things. Down all these cut downs. We don't want them. And I like to go down 1 Drowner, kind of like all my 3 drops, but there's a lot of stuff I want to board in. 2 Mastermind, 2 Duress. The Disdainful Stroke is the best card in this matchup. Tidebinder also pretty good. And Shieldred is okay here. They don't draw a ton of cards. Their main card advantage is like stock up. But I think we get rid of Tactics. It can be nice to snag one of their creatures, but I think it's usually better to like Disdainful Stroke or counter it or just kill it. And then like this is why I'm taking out the Carsey Revenants, is I get to this point in sideboarding and I'm like, all right, what are my worst cards? And I'm like, well, probably this one. Preacher is pretty resilient to some of their removal. And I mean, you can sometimes play the control game, but you don't want to. So yeah, I'm gonna board out the Carsey Revenants, and I kind of just like trimming a bat sometimes when I'm bringing in a lot of really powerful cards. I just don't love bat. If there were a better 2-drop, I'd be playing it. Believe you me. This is a solid hand. We would like to disrupt them with this bat. Bat does look pretty nice here. Probably could have cut a Flood Pits Drowner over the bat. I will take a 4th land. See what they have. So they have good mana. They're going for a Roiling Dragonstorm on turn 2. See what they discard. Discard a Meticulous Archive. So Disdainful Stroke is a nice one a little bit later down the line. Once those Shikos start coming out, and just take Exhale, and then they can kill this, but then I get to resolve Preacher. They go Elegant Parlor, keep a card on top. Okay. I find Gix's Command, another nice one. As you can see, I've filled my deck filled with all of the cards that get me the most value. It's the name of the game here. They go Helix. Don't want me to Kaito this turn. I will go Preacher of the Schism. Your go. Find an answer to it now, or it will probably kill you. They play out their planes. I mean, they could have, like, Get Lost plus Counterspell would be pretty annoying here. They can also just have Beza, which draws them a card and lets me slam this Kaito. So, not super worried about that one. Now, we're going to make a token off Preacher. I'd prefer to draw a card, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, they can go Shiko, Lightning Helix, Kaito, and then I get to go Gix's Command. So maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I just attack first. They play the Verge. It's possible they don't have Shiko too. It looks like they don't. Okay. I mean, with no Shiko here, this is probably just GG. I think it's time to start plussing Kaito, which I don't say often. But in this matchup, it can be pretty nice because then he just gets to keep tapping down all their things, so I just never have to worry about playing removal. And I'll pass. Opponent goes Elegant Parlor, that's fine. They still got a counterspell in hand. Put that to the yard. And we'll just go ahead and animate this thing. We have lethal here with plus and Kaito again. So gonna go for that. Plus Kaito, get in for 14. Which, yeah, they had a pretty bad draw. No card advantage spells. We were just kind of able to tempo them out however we wanted. Fast win against Jeskai Control. Winning game 1 sets you up very nicely because it gets a lot better. So you can see if this was 4 cutdowns, be a different game. But Curiosity, one of your best cards against them. They have a hard time exiling it. So if you can find those, good on ya. Obviously, that's not what happened in my match against Casey Miller, but hey, can't complain with a nice top 32. Let's get into match number 5. Match number 5 on the play. We'll take it. With a very nice hand. Flood Pits Drowner into Kaito, the bread and butter of this deck. That's what you want every single game. Also got a the option of, let's say my opponent goes turn 2 Cutter, turn 1 Swift Spear, turn 2 Cutter. Maybe I want to go Phantom Interference into Preacher. Probably do in that case. So, 2 very good options for what I can do in this match. Opponent leads on a green-red duel. They're playing Mice. And, yeah, probably a little more likely to go for the Preacher play now. Counter into Preacher. Pretty good against Mice on the play. If they play like a 2-drop here, we can go counter your Manifold Mouse. Wow, that is aggressive. Okay. Sure. They have a 5/3. They go to combat. I'll tap it down. See if they have like a snakeskin veil or something to protect it. They do. Wow, okay. So we're taking 6 here. And probably just going Kaito, tap down your thing again. Okay. Because, I can't let them untap with that, really. This also buys back my Drowner, so essentially giving me another removal spell in hand, and if they don't kill the Kaito immediately, it's, pretty close to GG's, I think. But let's see what they have. Giant Mouse is always scary. I don't know, them being that aggressive with their pump spell maybe means they don't have something. And it looks like they're on the Leyline build too, so just less creatures with haste overall. Definitely always going to go for the Kaito Zero here. Just want to find more interaction. Just have as much as humanly possible. Like another cut down I will take. Pass on another Kaito. Gonna go ahead and run out one of these Sirens and pass the turn. This Leyline? Yeah. Well, we don't want them to have that. So let's say counter. And we'll go, I guess, cut down on the Scamp. Or if they attack with it. Okay, they're just scooping. That's fine. We'll go to game number 2. Beating Leyline, game 1, is always good, but looks like they didn't have the best draw with not finding the Leyline. Here we can afford to go down, definitely the Kaitos, just a little bit too slow. Also, the Spyglass Siren and Curiosity probably not great here when they're just, their goal is just kill, kill, kill as fast as possible. We do want this. We want the Anoint, of course, and the Tactics. And go down these 3. Maybe we want a couple Duress as well. Yeah, I think I want the Duress here just because, like, keeping them off the, just the right amount of cards is pretty important. We have the Anoint, which is our best removal spell here. No Leyline. Spyglass Siren, I wish was any of my other 1-mana cards. I just boarded in. But I did board in all of them, so I guess I can't be too upset there. Spell Pierce. I guess, yeah, we want to hold that up. They go turn inside out. I'm pretty happy to Spell Pierce that. They go Slick Shot Show Off. So probably just gonna main phase Anoint that one. Does mean tapping out against a Leyline deck, but they don't have Leyline in play, so maybe it's alright. Well, there's Flood Pit's Drowner, so maybe that's better. Yeah, that's probably a tad bit better. Just tap down, show off, see if we can block Scamp. No, probably not blocking Scamp. Anoint is like the cleanest answer to it, so we'll just hold that up. Go tap down your Slick Shot. They attack. Say okay. Maybe we want to block just in case it's like turn inside out, turn inside out. Whatchamacallit. Yeah. This into, okay, that's lethal. Yeah, in case it's this. Okay, we'll die, I guess. All right. Game 3, probably could have played around that. I don't know. Have not played it. I was playing, I was on the Leyline deck for a while, the red-black version, but I haven't played a ton against it. We'll keep this. Double cut down plus duress on the play. Unfortunately, only one black source because the Gloomlake Verge is primarily island. Let's just go in with this to start, see what they do. They do have the Leyline this game, so gonna make it a bit harder. Draw. Let's go Duress you. All right, it is all spells over there. I think we just want to take a turn inside out. It's like the best spell they can have with a Leyline. Just hope they don't draw a creature. At least this turn would be super annoying. They play the second Gorge. No creature. Just yet, at least. We find Bat, but I'm going to hold off on the Bat for now. Just run out Preacher. Maybe end up batting to try and take away the Monstrous Rage to trample over my little chump blockers. There's another another cut down. Not at its best right here. We do get a double trigger off the Preacher. Find Scavenger Regent. And yeah, I'll go for the bat here. Just pressure them a little bit more. Monstrous Rage. Okay. Inside Out. Veil. Rage. Rage. I'm just going to take the Veil now, I think. That maybe lets these removal spells do something, but still probably not. Okay, they play a second Leyline. Yikes. Draw. Find Anoint. Okay. The one removal spell that does anything. Excellent. Into a Spyglass Siren. Wow. Okay. That's a good one here, too, because we can just go this, hold up the Anoint. I guess we don't have to this turn. We can just go crack the map. Get rid of a Drowner. And, like, if they play a creature here... Well, I forgot to play around Slick Shot Show Off. Okay. Fourth cut down is in my hand. Let's go to combat. And go for the throat. It's fine. See if they block here. No blocks, says my opponent. All right. That's it. That's my bait. I guess I'm dead to Slick Shot and probably beat everything else. Scamp is really annoying, but beatable, I think. Okay. So we just can't let them turn inside out it, but the rages don't matter too much. Although I guess we can just go for the throat. They turn inside out. We cut down. They monstrous rage. We cut down. They monstrous rage. No, I have to wait for them to make the first move. Okay. So let's go to combat and attack and do that. And if they do nothing and just take this, then we slam Children. And they die to draw step. Yep, no reason to let them top deck. We know their cards. We know they can do nothing about this, so let's slam a Children. Go. And take down the match. 3-2 in this league. Not the best finish, not the worst finish. I feel like I showcased pretty well that any matchup can be close. The good ones and the bad ones. Losing to Cutter and a green-black variant, one of which I think is a really good matchup. I beat it a lot. Another is a probably unfavored matchup, but you gain some percentage points back by playing well and having the right cards in. And I was able to go 2-1 against Cutter, 4-1 against Demons throughout the RC. And yeah, this is how we did it. How we got that done is with this blue-black list, and had a lot of fun with it. Love to play it some more at some point. Don't think I'll be in Hartford, but maybe some upcoming Pro Tours. Blue Black will be back on top, and I'll be right there with it. So let's open up that chest, see if we get anything super good. Oh, I got 13 of them. Okay, let's open a bunch of chests then. Or we'll just open the one for this video. Boom. What'd we get? All right, Seismic Assault, Wine of Blood and Iron. You guys didn't miss out on a ton. Um, and hopefully you won't miss out on any more of my videos by clicking that subscribe button. Make sure you like and comment on this one and any other ones that you really enjoyed as well. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.